All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not
I'm
here.
doing so right now. I am exempt from these rules and regulations. I motion and move this court to dismiss this case. I am sui juris in proper persona and propria persona.
And Mr. Dubois, is your address still homeless?
Alright, guys, today we've got a sovereign citizen going up against Judge Webster, and let me tell you, Judge Webster completely shuts him down. This guy is here for the usual: no driver's license, no insurance, and no registration. You already know this one is going to be a mess, but trust me, you're going to have to see this one to believe it. This dude is acting like he's completely mentally insane, and it's just wild how people like this even think they can win in court. Let me know your thoughts in the comments while you watch. Do you think this dude is mentally insane, or is he just an average sovereign citizen? Let's go ahead and dive in.
State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward Dubus. Jared Regier for the state. Is Mr. Dubus present? Anthony Dubus?
I am Anthony Edward Dubus. Dubus is the English pronunciation. Dubus is the original French. And I am appearing specially in propria persona, not pro se, as sui juris.
Okay,
Under
first of all, I can't see you, so you're not here.
appearance satisfied.
Thank you, sir. Now, as
Absolutely.
far as I need to go, well, I need you back here in person.
Okay, well, it's propria persona, not in person. I'm not the legal entity that you're claiming me to be.
All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not
I'm
here.
doing so right now. I'm just removing it as a case. It takes a while.
Now, the second order of business, let's get your name straight. I know a family with the same exact spelling in America, and they do pronounce it Dubus, but you said you pronounce it
Dubus,
Dubus?
as the original Dubus, as the original French. Yep.
Very well, Dubus.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Dubus appears in person and pro se.
Correction. Propria persona.
Well, in this court, it's in person. And
Correction. In all courts, it may be either pro se, either appear in person, or propria persona.
well, in my years of law school and nearly 40 years of practice, both as an attorney and a judge, it's been in person, and that's what I'm going with, sir. I believe that is just fine. So, in any event, we will proceed with your charges. In count one, sir, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state without having a valid driver's license pursuant to KSA 8-235A. In count two, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully operate or attempt to operate a motor vehicle, to wit, a 2003 Honda Accord, upon a highway of the state, to wit, 1700 block of East Foxtail Street, Andover, Butler County, Kansas, while the vehicle was not registered in violation of KSA 8-142. In count three, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, Anthony Edward Dubus,
Dubus.
the Boos,
Thank you,
did
Myron.
then and there unlawfully and intentionally drive a motor vehicle upon a public highway or property open to use by the public and failed to provide proof of insurance upon demand by a law enforcement officer. Now, sir, if you had insurance when you were stopped but just didn't have it with you or couldn't find it quickly, just provide proof to the county attorney and they'll most likely dismiss that charge. But if you really didn't have insurance, you're looking at a Class B non-person misdemeanor. The law does require a minimum fine if you're convicted of $300 up to $1,000, and it does have a possible jail sentence up to 6 months. Those are the charges against you.
This is actually hilarious. You can just tell from the charges alone that this guy is a sovereign citizen. no license, no insurance, no registration. At this point, it's like they wake up and choose to make life harder for themselves. I just don't get why these people refuse to follow the most basic laws. It's not some government conspiracy, it's just common sense. You can't drive without a license, and you can't own a car without registering it. The Supreme Court has literally confirmed that states can require these things to keep the roads safe, but no, they think they've unlocked some secret cheat code to life and that the rest of us are just blind followers. And honestly, I feel like a big part of the problem is the school system. I know it might just be one of the issues, but from elementary to high school, I swear they spend years drilling stuff we'll never use, but do they ever bother teaching basic laws? I seriously can't remember a single class on what your rights actually are or what laws you need to follow as an adult. Maybe I'm wrong since I haven't been to school in a long time, but I just don't think I am here. Let me know if you guys disagree with me on that. Let's dive back in.
You do have the right to an attorney. You can hire any attorney of your choice, but if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. You don't have to have an attorney, though. You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. So that's an order of business we need to take care of today, is whether you want an attorney or not. And then another is to make sure that you understand what the charges are and the possible penalties. Do you have any questions for me about that?
Yeah, I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges. I have not had my accuser face me to bring the charges against me, as is a violation of due process. And I want to correct for the record of the court, the named defendant is different than the named person, being myself. Hold on, let me make sure I get that in view of the camera. The named person here is different than the one named in the charges and the counts, being a difference of representation of who exactly it is the charges are against. And it is to my belief and knowledge that per KAR 8243 subsection A, exemption from the motor carrier safety regulations, A, the occasional transportation of personal property by private motor carriers that is not for compensation and is not in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. I am exempt from these rules and regulations, and if I need to get a USDOT number to show that I was not operating a commercial motor vehicle or as a common carrier for business or for profit or in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, I will be more than happy to produce that USDOT number to show that I am in fact a private motor carrier, not operating in commerce, not driving, as I'm merely transporting and traveling.
Mr. DuBois, you are not charged under the Uniform Commercial Carriers Code as adopted by the state of Kansas. You are charged just as a motorist operating a motor vehicle. Again, not a commercial vehicle. These are not laws that are subject to the commercial code or to the administrative regulation that you referred.
Although you mentioned the word operating, operating is a term used for the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, or driving, operating, the physical use or furtherance of for-profit business or for compensation.
It may under the commercial code, but not under the code otherwise.
It is under Kansas, correct?
It is not under Chapter 8 of the Kansas statutes or Chapter 40, which are filed under. But we can address that at a later date at a trial or a motions hearing if necessary. But I do not see the statutory language that you're addressing being applicable to these statutes, at least preliminarily at this hearing.
It is within, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's my ruling there. And then on the name issue, I am not tracking you there. The only difference I see is that at the top of the document, state of Kansas and your name are capitalized, and in the initial or in the individual charges, it's traditional capital letter of the first name, all lowercase of the remaining names throughout. So I'm not following that argument. Again, if you want to readdress that at a later date, we can, but I'm just not seeing that argument.
Okay.
Now
Well, I motion and move this court to dismiss this case.
It's honestly so funny watching this sovereign citizen just reading off his little cheat sheet like he's got a foolproof plan here. I'm honestly just baffled by how these people think. Like, what's the end goal for him? They go out, buy a car, and for some reason decide they don't need a license, then they waltz into court claiming the court has no jurisdiction over them even though they're literally here, and then they come into the court that has no jurisdiction over them and start bringing up these made-up laws, and for whatever reason they think they're right. This has got to be a mental illness. I've been saying this since day one. No matter how brainwashed you are, I don't think you could get this far. It actually makes zero sense. There's literally no winning for them in this situation. I mean, at this point it's honestly easier to sell the car, hop in an Uber, or take public transportation, because it's a lot less stress than dealing with all these fake legal arguments. I seriously just don't get it. If somebody could explain it to me in the comments, please do, because man, I am just losing brain cells by the second here.
For the motion I have filed, and for the brief in support of motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
Sir, I do not have any such motion or brief in support. Mr. Regier, have you received any such documents?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor, and so I fail to see, at least at this juncture, how such a motion is properly brought before the court, unless the court is aware of something that I am not aware of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide, if it's properly before the court. Mr. Dubois, who did you file the motion and brief with?
Well, seeing as your guys' e-file is down for what is it? It's called a ransom malware or something. I cannot e-file.
Right,
so
but you can mail it, or you can walk it into the clerk of the court. Have you done that?
Yes, I've mailed it by email, which a court.
I'm sorry,
when I could.
Okay, go ahead, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine. It was by email, which the court clerk said I could, considering the e-file was down. And I can't really go 20-something miles to do that, considering my personal property was stolen.
When did you email it, sir? When did you email it?
A while ago.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do not accept emailed filings, only faxed or by mail or person.
Okay, I was told that they do not have fax, so I could not do that. So email would be okay.
He may have called the wrong courthouse then.
They spent 10 minutes finding my case because your guys' system was down. So I'm fairly certain it was the correct one.
Okay. Do you recall which you filed or which court you called?
Let me go to my sent. T. Stafford at bucokansas.com.
I think that might be at the county courthouse, not the district courthouse.
Okay. So if you want to file something, sir, let's make sure you file it in a fashion that will get it officially recognized. So Ashley, how do you suggest he file motions and the like?
He will either need to mail us a copy of it or he can fax file.
And is your guys' fax active?
Yes, it has been the whole time.
I love how this court clerk is giving this guy some serious attitude right now. You can tell he's probably wishing he had a lawyer, but honestly I feel like this might have been part of his plan all along. There's no way he accidentally didn't send his motions. It's pretty clear this guy has no idea how to file a motion properly, and honestly, if you're filing motions in court, you have to follow some strict rules, like everybody knows. I really feel like this guy is just trying to delay his case here. Then again, it's really not that hard to send it to the right email address, even though they don't take it through email. I feel like if you were to mess up, you would at least send it to the right email address. It's honestly a shady move from this guy, but I would not be surprised coming from a sovereign citizen. Let me know what you guys think so far.
Okay,
It's
and
not effective, yes.
what's the fax number?
Our fax number is 316-321-9486.
Okay, and my honor, I have one last question. For the nature and cause of these charges, is it a criminal or is it a civil matter?
This is a criminal matter.
Okay, as it is a criminal matter, there are two jurisdictions which I may be tried. One is the common law, and the other is a military tribunal. Which of those two do you intend to try me in?
I intend to try you in this one, sir.
Which is this one? Please elaborate.
The criminal one.
Well, criminal has two jurisdictions. It is either the common law or it is the military tribunal.
Well, sir, we're not going to go into that at this point.
Are you refusing to acknowledge to me and tell me the nature and cause of the charges?
I have told you the nature and the cause of the charges.
You are not elaborating.
I think the remaining issue, sir, is whether you're going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself.
My honor, I need to know whether or not this is going to be in the common law or a military tribunal.
Well, I am going to ask you one more time. Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself, sir?
Again, I'm not representing myself. I am sui juris in proper persona or propria persona.
So you're not going to have an attorney, or are you?
No, I'm not going to be presented or represented by any British agent, registrant, or anybody else to be a ward of the state. I'm standing on my rights and I do not abrogate them. And if you're going to continue to move this court without any sort of evidence, well, I guess I'll have to file that. But
we're going to set your hearing. How do you want to plead to the charges first? Then, if you don't want to have an attorney, how do you want to plead to no valid driver's license?
My honor, are you attempting to administer the trust without permission and consent?
I'm asking you for your response. I'm giving you the chance to respond. Do you want to plead to this charge or not?
My honor, I don't make any pleas as I am appearing in propria persona, and any plea would submit jurisdiction to the court. I am here challenging jurisdiction under the common law as I am owed the law of peace. And this is a fraud action.
The only fraud going on right now is this guy. This dude is literally reading off some Facebook script he probably got from some random deadbeat sovereign citizen who thinks they're an expert in law. It's so obvious, and honestly, it's pretty ridiculous. I mean, these sovereign citizens have this weird obsession with trying to force the judge into saying whether a case is under common law, military law, or whatever else they've dreamed up. Newsflash to this guy, courts don't work like that. A judge isn't going to suddenly stop the whole proceeding just to explain what type of law they're operating under. It's already set in stone by the system. Common law? Sure, that's part of it, but there's a whole framework of statutes, case law, and regulations that govern things. These people try to act like they can just twist the system into something it's not, but the judge is just sitting there like, yeah, nice try. It's honestly like watching somebody argue with a brick wall here. Let me know if you guys think this guy has any chance of winning with these tactics. Let's dive back in.
As fraud in the inducement from the beginning under due process violations from Deputy Khalid Barake and the other officers or sheriffs that were on scene. And if you are attempting to administer the trust without consent of myself, the living man, the grantor, in common law, which is above Admiralty Maritime law, then you will be in violation of Article 3, Section 2, the trial of all crimes, except in case of impeachment, shall be jury, and such trial shall be held in a state where said crime shall have been committed, but when they are not committed with any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. And as there is a difference between the Republic State Kansas before the state of Kansas was brought into the Federation of the Union of States. And you will also be in violation of I'm getting it real quick. 18 U.S. Code sections 2381, treason. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States, the corporation, not United States of America or for America, levies war against them or adheres to the enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title, but not less than $10,000, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Now, I, Anthony Edward Dubus, the proper case trade name, not the all caps legal entity of which you're attempting to administer the trust of, am an American state national, a Kansas state national per 8 USC 1101, subsection 21, and is recognized by the Kansas Human Rights Commission, as I have dealings with them going over my nationality in regards to a corporation in which I have a complaint filed against, has already been refused mediation by the company and is being investigated by Barbara Carper, the special investigator of Kansas Human Rights Commission, over my case specifically. And if you're attempting to move this case against myself, you are in violation of executing law rather than just judging on it. Which, if I need to pull up that statute
Sir, do
case as well.
Sir, do you still have the same phone number you had posted on your bond that you have with AAA Butler County Bail Bonds? Is that still your current phone number?
My Honor, Mrs.
316-252?
My Honor, Webster, it is, you may call me either Anthony Dubus or Anthony Edward Dubus. I do not accept the term sir. Although,
well,
yes, my phone number is still the same at 316-252-9724.
right. And is your address okay? Guess's iPhone needs to be locked. And Mr. Dubois, is your address still homeless, or do you have something more specific at this time?
The judge really just pulled the "you're homeless" card on him, and that's got to hurt. But honestly, what's really getting me about this whole case is how this guy keeps calling the judge my honor instead of the proper "your honor." I mean, come on, that's like the most basic thing you learn when you step into a courtroom. It's such a small detail, but it's also a huge red flag. The whole point of calling the judge your honor is showing respect for their position in the court system, but this guy is over here acting like he's got some kind of special connection with the judge, like they're buddies or something. That's not how this works, man. He's just digging himself deeper into a hole, and at this rate he's not going to climb out anytime soon. I think this dude should be more focused on getting himself some housing instead of arguing with the judge here, but let me know what you guys think about this whole thing so far.
See, they they refused to put down my address. I am within Wichita, Kansas, rural free delivery within the four corner rule 67202, aka the brackets around 67202. And they refused to put down my rural free delivery address and put me as homeless instead because they could not accept it. They refused. Also, Deputy Khalid Barake, when I was taken to Butler County Detention Center, refused that there were any magistrates at all within any of the courts, which per due process of common law, I was to be taken before a magistrate or a tribunal, both judicial, either Article 3 or 4, in front of a magistrate judge to be decided whether or not I was even within the jurisdiction to be tried for these charges or commercial crimes.
Your next court date will be 2 weeks from Monday. What do you have, Ashley? 2 weeks from this past Monday. What is it?
I believe that is going to be Monday, the 18th.
All right, Mr. Dubois, your next court date is December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom. You can always appear in the courthouse personally if you like. I am appointing Attorney Darren Patterson. Now, if you don't want to use him,
I do not accept any appointment of any attorney.
But I show that you don't have a specific residence. Do you have a job, employment?
I did, and then these actions against myself from the state of Kansas caused me not to have it anymore.
In this court's opinion, mixed federal law and state law and other sources of law that don't all go together.
May I elaborate?
I just want him to be available to you. I think we have exhausted this particular hearing, the purpose of which is merely to make sure you know what the charges are, the possible penalties, and your rights that I have gone over with you, including your right to counsel, which I'm hearing you say you don't wish to utilize. But nevertheless, I'm going to direct Mr. Patterson to at least be available to you, that you be here again December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom. And I'm going to continue your bond until that date and time. So anything else, Mr. Anthony Edward Dubois, please take that up. Thank you. Please take that up at the next hearing after you've had a time to talk to Mr. Patterson.
Okay. My last final thing I want to say is I'm already filing Kansas Commission on Judicial Conduct complaint against a judge. And that would be the prior judge, Mr. Mr. Lee, I believe. And I will be adding you to the complaint as well, as you are violating my due process right and my Sixth Amendment right.
Yep, just like the usual sovereign citizen script calls for, he always ends the hearing by threatening the judge. Classic move here. I mean, we've all seen it before, right? These people really think that's going to make the judge back down or give them some special treatment. News flash, it never works. This dude is really out here unemployed, homeless, and arguing in court over a measly driver's license. Like, bro, just get the license already and move on with your life. It's really not that hard, but here he is making it way more complicated than it needs to be, and honestly this whole thing reeks of that victim complex that just keeps getting worse every day. He's sitting here blaming everyone else, especially the state of Kansas, for the fact that he's homeless and unemployed. Like, take some accountability, man. You can't just sit there and expect the world to bend to your will just because things aren't going the way you want. I mean, we've all got our problems, right? But that doesn't mean you get to skip basic responsibilities or make up your own rules just to get out of them. He's playing the victim card so hard and it's just not working. It's like he's trying to find any excuse to avoid facing reality. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for today. Let me know what you thought about this court hearing. Do you think this dude is mentally insane, or did he just buy into the sovereign citizen PS script like everybody else? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. I post every single day, so stay tuned for that. I really appreciate you guys. Take care.